Folks, welcome back to So Bad It's Good. Literally, this feels like it's only been a week since the end of the last season of Love Island, and here we are again, once more into the breach. We are covering Love Island Games. Love Island Games, folks, is on Peacock. You might not know, or you might not even be aware it's on because there is so much television on right now. And this is another time commitment. I hit that first episode and we were looking at a 2-hour episode. I was like, what are you doing to us, Peacock? But I could not talk about this show without two of my favorite people that I've been able to meet doing podcasting, and they fell in love, and they are still together, I want to point out, on Love Island USA. I mean, Love Island USA should be like plastering these people all over their walls saying that this show can work. So we have, as always, Carsten, Bergie Bergersen, and Taylor Smith. Well, welcome back to the show, you guys.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, and it's been a busy week in television. There was so much coming out, like especially Wednesday this week. Love Island Games came out. Gen V came out. The Summer I Turned Pretty finale came out. I don't know when Salt Lake City came out, but like
Salt Lake City came out. Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Like did that all come out on Wednesday? Like it just felt like Wednesday was just jam packed.
Well, it feels like I've lived a year in the last week, and that's just television alone. And I do wonder, just from, I mean, we talk about the show itself, but I like to talk about television and just how you get people to view television in this day and age with streaming. And there is so much competition for your eyes right now. And that's why, like, after Love Island being such a massive success, even if you didn't like it, you guys, it was a massive success that nobody can argue with. My thought going into this so quickly was that, are people so exhausted from the last season of Love Island? Will they sign up to watch Love Island Games? This is season 2. I never watched season 1. I didn't realize what this was. In my head, I thought this was like a once-a-week show. I didn't realize this is a nightly show that is in the same villa, that is hosted by Ariana, cast members from all different iterations, and there's a lot of production that goes into this. Were you surprised that they released this so soon after Love Island, you guys?
No, not necessarily. Just because like they already have the villa.
Money's money.
Money's money. That's for sure. And you were talking about like there's so much competition for eyes right now. Like if you're addicted to something, I don't want to say addicted, but like if you're on something,
if you guys like drugs, this is kind of like that.
You need your daily drugs, otherwise you go through withdrawal and then you don't go back to it. So I think like that's exactly what it is. Like Love Island's competing against, or Peacock, or just television in general, is now competing against YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Like you're competing against social media, and I would say video games as well. Like entertainment has to compete against all other entertainment platforms. That wasn't the case 20 years ago. 20 years ago it was just all TV. So now it's like you have iPhones and stuff. But so Love Island Games coming right after. Like, do you have the villa built? I don't know if they're still renting out villas. Like when we are like the property of the land, but like I think maybe they only rented it out for like 9 months or something, and like they only have this much time to use that villa before they have to
rent
tear
it out
down.
as like an Airbnb for the rest of the time, like that the location.
Well,
they
no,
tear
like
it down. They tear
it down
right away.
They tear the whole thing down?
Yeah.
What's
like
nuts
the Casa Amor house gets torn down the last day of Casa. Like once they build it comes down 5 days after Casa.
I was shocked. I was like, you guys spent like $1 million building Casa Amor. Like on our season, I was like, how much money did you guys just spend for 3 days of filming Casa Amor? Like,
yeah, they
it's
it
nuts.
all down.
That's such a great tidbit because I mean, this is a little off topic, but Coachella, the music festival, when it first started. Justin Bieber's headlining. I know Bergie's excited, but it was at the polo fields in the Coachella Valley, and at first they didn't own that land, and then it got more successful, and then finally they bought out the land, so then they can have other music festivals, but they can have that infrastructure always there, and they don't have to worry about, they still tear down the stages and stuff, but they own the land now. So I'm curious if Love Island continues at this pace, will they get into some kind of structure where they rent, they own the property for a whole year.
Right.
And I think like Survivor owns their own island now too.
They own their own island, yeah.
I definitely
literally
think
right across from where
we
the
found
villa
that out.
is.
We found that out last season because they said that the Survivor contestants could hear the fireworks from Love Island.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of Survivor people because when were we out there? It was like 43, maybe 44 or like 42, 43 or something like that. But I remember seeing camera people from Survivor. They would also be bought up by like Peacock, I think. And they would have like their Survivor, whatever you call them, their Survivor gear. And they'd be filming us. And I saw 2 seasons worth of Survivor because we were out there when the first season was shot and the second season of Survivor was shot. So I got to see like 2 seasons of Survivor camera people come in, which was kind of cool.
Now, we'll get into Love Island games in a second, but I want to point out that this is only 3 weeks. It is not 6 weeks. It is 3 weeks. But I wanted to catch up with you guys really quick because we haven't talked really since the finale of Love Island. In that time, we also had the reality show Beyond the Villa, and I don't really know what the success of that was because they don't fully release nightly streaming numbers. I think eventually they're going to head that way, but who knows? But you guys, how have you been? What have you been up to? We know you live in different places, but you were actually in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago, and it was your birthday, Bergie, and I was supposed to go out to eat with you guys. I was so sick as a dog, and I gave what I had to Rebecca, my fiance, and it was a real shit show. But what were you guys out in Los Angeles for?
Yeah, we were doing a dating pool with Simply Spiked. So we were partnering with the new tropical flavor. Simply Spiked wanted us to promote that. So we got the opportunity to go to LA and stay at the One Hotel, which was a very nice hotel. It was like,
I was just there the other night. It's a really nice place.
Really nice hotel, like very swanky, kind of minimalistic vibes. But we got to kind of like just meet people in this like dating pool and host it and host a bunch of games.
That's cool. Get paid, you guys. We got to get some money on the books. I mean, I always point this out because you were on season 5, right?
Yeah.
Season 5, and the season after is when it really exploded, and all of these people make it, and it's like, God, we got to make you guys money. We got to make, and the unfortunate, I mean, it's mainly fortunate that you guys are together, but the unfortunate thing is, if you weren't together, you could be on Love Island games.
Right.
I know. So I was actually thinking about that too. And I'm like, they're already bringing like Justine and Johnny back from season 1 of Love Island games and Toby. And I was like, if they're going to reward people for not, staying in their relationships and making Love Island successful, maybe they can bring in like couples eventually, like let people couple up for the first couple of weeks. I always say this too for Love Island games, but like maybe the first 2 weeks you let people just be single and mingle and couple up and then announce this is the last recoupling, like this is the person you're going to try to win Love Island games with. And then once they announce that, do that recoupling, then they bring in some couples. Like they bring in, like, could you imagine if they brought in Serena and Cordell and Lee and Miguel? Like people would be going nuts. And then they throw us with Farmer Will.
I agree. I think they should think outside the box on these things. And I think one of my complaints about these first 4 episodes is that, and I know this is silly, is that my heart wants to believe that you can really find love on these things, you want to believe in that and you want to be reminded of that. And when I feel like, and I'm pointing out one cast member that I so dislike because she was on this past season of Below Deck, Solenn. I don't think you guys watched Below Deck, but I just finished, they had the finale of Below Deck on Monday. And it was such a stunt casting because she wasn't a yachtie. She didn't work in yachting. And she was a wrecking ball on that yacht. She made out with guys, girls. Everybody was fighting over her. And she just didn't care. Like, she wouldn't even really do her duties that well because she didn't care. She was like...
She came in hot, too, in games.
Oh, my God. Rebecca was pointing out, she's like, she always leads with the tongue on her first kiss. Like, the tongue gets out there immediately.
Yeah.
And so Love Island is probably more her speed, but when you threw her on Below Deck, I felt like she was part of the thing that ruined the season for me. But like Solenn is there, and I know that Solenn, the one I met on Below Deck, is not interested in a relationship at all. She is not open in that sense. And so for me, it's a little bit of a disappointment because you want them to be there for the money, but you also want that. I also want to believe that at the core, they could fall in love.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Is that weird? Is that
no?
That's of me?
I don't think that's weird at all because at the end of the day, it is still a Love Island franchise. Like you're there to potentially find like your partner or establish some type of relationship there. But I think the biggest thing that differentiates like Love Island and Love Island games is that there is this big number prize money. And like you don't know people's intentions. So I feel like it's even harder to go in there wanting a relationship when you don't know if you could be betrayed, backstabbed, or whatever. But like it is, you do still want to still look like feel that people are trying to find love.
Yeah, but I also think with this format of Love Island, it's so short. Like Love Island games is being like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How much can you get done in 3 weeks? Like Taylor and I were able to be boyfriend and girlfriend by the end of like we were together for 3 weeks, but like, it's a short time period, and like especially when you're playing games and trying to be strategic about like winning this money and like how to play this game more so than trying to fall in love. I think it's kind of hard to do both.
Yeah.
So let's go over. Will you guys go over the cast members with us, because we've got a large cast and they come from all different seasons and iterations. I mean, I guess the newest season we have Chris Seeley, who is with Huda, and he's back. The extremely tall gentleman, you guys. And Chris was briefly on this show. Chris also a big fan of Bergie. He loves Bergie. But will you guys go over the casts with us on this?
Yeah, so I can definitely speak for all the U.S. Islanders. I've seen every U.S. season. Like I was studying the first 4 Love Island seasons before I went on. Like I was like literally taking notes as before I went on. I'm like, I could do this. And did that even matter?
He's a nerd, right, Taylor?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, what are you doing taking notes?
It's shocking that Bergie found love because he was there to backstab and strategize and all that
like,
stuff.
Were you taking notes how to like kiss someone?
No. That was just like how often.
ChatGPT, how does a human kiss?
Yeah.
It was more so like when is a dumping? Like how often does America get to vote? Like
I will say, you're right. Okay, I can see where you're going with this because he knew what was going to happen every time. Like our cast on season 5 would be like, Bergie, is it a dumping tonight? And like he would know.
Yeah, but Bergie, do you think I'm watching these episodes? Do you think who's in here thinking with that kind of strategy or mind?
None of them.
No one.
We're gonna go.
Bergie, that's what I'm saying. That's what's so frustrating is that like I respect that because I watch Survivor and we are big fans of reality competition series. So if you're having a reality competition series, I want to see people. If you're in it for the money, I want to see that you really
the strategy.
Strategy, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, and
I feel like
we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are saying like, oh, I love manipulation. I got a strategy. And like,
you don't say that.
You don't like, if you have a strategy, why are you letting people know you have a strategy or you can't wait to manipulate people? Yes. You are presenting yourself as a threat. Like you're not playing, like they don't know how to play the game.
We need to teach critical thinking to the Love Island cast.
Yeah.
They do not seem to understand.
And I think we're seeing such an early season of like, what Love Island games is going to be. Like, I think 5 seasons down the road, people are actually going to come in with strategies because they're going to watch what happens this season. And then, 5 years down the road, they're going to be like, okay, that was a terrible strategy. And I said I had strategy. Why was I saying that? I think people are going to become better at it as the Love Island game seasons go on.
Yeah. And like also, sorry.
No, please, Taylor, what?
No, I was just saying like also too, like I think that with a lot of people coming in, they go in with like the Love Island mentality. And yes, they have like a strategy like, ooh, like I can't wait to like kill at the challenges, but they're not like in their hotels, like plotting a strategy. Like if you were on like Traitors or Survivor, like, or Dr. Will and Big Brother, like those type of strategies are like iconic strategies. And I think like that's what I would love to see like Love Island games potentially get to, like Bergie said, like 5 seasons down the road where you're coming in and you're playing like an actual game. And it's not, and it's like about like someone really wanting to win the money.
Well, I don't want their strategy to be like, how good do I look in a bathing suit? Which is, it goes into it because obviously this is an over-sexualized show. But yeah, to your point, man, if we had a Dr. Will of Love Island, I mean, that would be Bergie.
Dr. Bergie, I'll be ready.
Well, by the way, he is studying to be a doctor, but like, I'm sorry, I don't think you have the cold-bloodedness to do, I don't think you have it in you to backstab people. And once again, we are talking about our friends over at Quince. You guys, I can't stop wearing the breathable navy sports jacket I have. I'm wearing it way too much. I need to go on Quince and get something new because I keep wearing it, but I love it so much. And as cooler temps are rolling in, Quince is where I'm turning for fall staples that actually last. From cashmere to denim to boots, the quality holds up and the price still blows me away. Quince has all kinds of fall staples that you are going to wear nonstop, like super soft 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters starting at just $60. Their denim is durable and it fits right, and their real leather jackets bring that clean, classic edge without the elevated price tag. And what makes Quince different is they partner directly with ethical factories and skip the middlemen, so you get top-tier fabrics and craftsmanship at half the price of similar brands. That sounds really good. So keep it classic and cool this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince. Go to quince.com/sobad for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Just go to the website. You're going to find a lot of good stuff. That's QUINCE.com/sobad. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sobad.
No, it wouldn't be so much backstabbing, but it would be like the goofiness. Like, oh, I didn't know, like, I threw this competition. What do you mean I threw this competition? Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
So
I don't know how to play this game.
You're saying this innocence that you portray is all
Use
an
it
act.
as an advantage.
Use it as an
Taylor,
advantage.
it's all an act, isn't it? He's faking this whole thing.
He's actually a demon.
Okay, let's go over some of these cast members, you guys.
Okay, yes.
Because it's a large cast.
It's a large cast. I can only really speak for the U.S. people, and we'll just go over the U.S. I don't know if Taylor, do you know any of these UK?
I've got the rest. I've got the rest of them pulled up.
Okay, so Chris, we just saw him on season 7. I was happy to see him come on because I felt like, obviously I didn't like the ending with Huda. Like, I felt like being a gentleman would have been helping her in some way, but I was glad to see him get a second chance. Really excited to see Charlie come back. I thought Charlie got cheated. And so I was like, well, not really cheated, but like, I really wanted to see Charlie come back.
I love him.
Zay, so some history about Zay, if you haven't watched Love Island season 4, he got second place. I think he potentially maybe would have gotten third, but like on season 4, there was, normally you finish the season with 4 couples left. There was a fight right before the finale. So then there was a final 3 instead of a final 4. So he ended up getting second place.
That's Isaiah Campbell, right?
Isaiah Campbell. He was with Sydney Pite, who was on Love Island Australia and Love Island season 4. And I think it would be awesome to see her come back and then just have that tension there of them.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be nice to see her come in as a bombshell here. Hopefully they have that planned. But apparently, from the rumors that I read on the internet is a reliable source. He apparently cheated on Sydney about a year into their relationship. So, and I think he said that like on his intro, like he's like, yeah, I was young, I cheated, but that was already 2 years ago now. Yeah, that was 2 years ago now. So that's Isaiah.
And Isaiah's 24 now, so that happened when he was 22.
Yeah, so he was young. He was on Love Island when he was 21. Really young.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Andrina, we saw her in season 7. She's coming back. That's great.
She was the one that was in love with Rob.
No. That's Andrea.
He was in love with Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, another season 7 Islander. But then we'll go into Andrea, who was in love with Rob on season 6. Or in love. Yeah.
And Andrea.
I know, they're like right next to each other.
Yeah.
But
Andrea.
Yep, we saw her, the whole meltdown, and she got like eliminated probably like within 2 days of being there, 3 days of being there. So it's nice to see her get a second chance, because especially since she was there for such a short time. Josh on season 3, he was on Love Island season 3. He was coupled up with Shannon like right from the get-go. And I think like week 4 out of the 6 weeks of Love Island, his sister ended up passing, and he ended up leaving the very next day with Shannon. From his Love Island season 3. And I think that's the US cast. Kendall.
Oh, yeah.
Kendall.
Can't forget about Kendall.
Can't forget about Kendall.
Yeah.
Kendall's just already coming in there with like high enthusiasm, as he always does. And we find out one of his least favorite foods is corn dogs, you guys. That's a big information from Kendall.
He seems a little shy on camera this season.
Well, Shire, I mean, I
Shire.
thought he came in hot, but I will say, I think, and we can only speculate, but, once the internet did its thing with Kindle after, right at the season with all of that being, revealed and what happened with him and Nicole, I would imagine you do go through life a little bit more unsteady or I feel like I would be almost in my head a little bit more because you realize the power of the internet and the people watching and how it's, I always say all that glitters is not gold. Like he
Right.
just suffered a lot potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I also think, he was meeting new people from all over the world in that first 20, 30 minutes of being there. And he did look, I do think he looked a little nervous. If you go back and when they're standing around the table, he looked nervous. But there's nothing wrong with being nervous either. Because it's like,
No.
anytime I enter a new environment and meeting a ton of new people, my face is red. And I'm like, I'm not a traitor, I promise.
Well, we established that that's your act. That's
you also have to think about it too in his perspective. Like, it's obviously a whole different new like Love Island scenery where you're going to be going up against like what you see is your competition physically, not just like grabbing a girl and going for a chat. So it's like I think that was another perspective too of like kind of putting that in scene of like him being like, oh, like, these are all like bigger men, taller, they look strong. So who knows like what his thoughts could have been there too.
Well, how much of it, with all of these contestants, but also Kindle, is that I would imagine you enter these situations about like, well, what have you heard about me? It's like before we were on Love Island, they're all meeting each other for the first time. I mean, maybe not Ace and Shelley, but who knows? But, like, so you would go into these situations thinking like, oh, these people might have read something about me or seen something and already have a firmly established thought in their head about who I am.
Right. I never actually thought of it that way, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking of. Like it would kind of take away. I mean, it really affects the gameplay of it all as well. I would imagine. Okay. So we have Kindle, and then is there anybody else from the U.S.?
I think we covered everybody from the U.S. that I know about.
So I've got Garby from Love Island, Netherlands and Belgium, season 4. Garby's in there. We have, did you do Johnny Middlebrooks? You did Johnny, right?
Oh, John. Okay, so yes, they're the bombshells that come in episode 3. But we have Johnny and Justine. Do you want to? We'll introduce them now because they're already introduced.
Yeah, so bombshells or heartbreakers get introduced as well, like they do in the actual Love Island at the end or, in the episodes.
Yeah, so we have Justine. She was on Love Island season 2. She won season 2 with Caleb, and some drama that came out after season 2 aired was Caleb was in the Love Island villa the whole time, and he had a girlfriend back home. And he went into the Love Island villa with his girlfriend, and then he got out and then went right back to his girlfriend after he won Love Island season 2. So that was like big drama back in 2020 during COVID. And then Justine then came back for Love Island Game season 1, dominated, won it. Nobody was really trying to take her out, so I'm curious to see if anybody's going to really try to take her out this season. I think she's got a really strong social game. She's been on the challenge. Love Island Game season 1. And she was just got done doing Perfect Match. I think they filmed that that just came out this summer, but I think they filmed it like last summer or the summer before.
Yep.
Oh wait, and you guys were in there with KK.
Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh, how did we forget about KK?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
KK is one of my favorites right now. What do you guys think of KK?
Oh, she's killing it. Like I am so happy to see her just get her chance too, and like I feel like she really does like Chris right now, and I'm like interested to see how that all plays out.
But she's also had some of the most quotable lines, I feel, from these episodes. I mean, she's throwing out coochie, she's throwing out like wild things, and she's making me laugh, which, if you can make an audience member laugh, you're more apt to remember them. Because I think a lot of people, and even people listening to this podcast, you're explaining the history of Love Island, Bergie. Most people have not started watching Love Island until 2 seasons ago. So this is what another thing, if anybody producers are listening, is that this history that Bergie and Taylor are walking us through, it's important because if you know a little bit about the history, you can get into the games more. And so I feel like it's a missed opportunity to not give little explanations of their full history on these games. Because if you know that, that's why I almost, to your point earlier, in future seasons of Love Island games, it's going to get better and better because more people will have caught up at that point and they'll be pulling from cast members that are now of all the people that are watching Love Island now. Like the more those people get filtered in, they're going to be fully more engaged. So I wish they had done a little bit more history like Bergie was just telling us, because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's crazy. That's what happened on their season,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have done a clip that like rolled back
exactly.
to like KK's iconic moment from our season was her volunteering to go home with Keenan. Like that was a whole thing like on our season. And everyone was like really sad about it because they did not think that she was going to volunteer to go home with him. And she was like, well, I don't see, she was like, I found my match, so I'm going to go home with my match. And like, that's that. And like, that was the most iconic thing like that KK had from our season. Also, Soul Ties is crazy. Like, who doesn't love that saying as well? But yeah, like if they would have rolled the cameras to like each Islander's iconic moment or a dramatic scene to like why they're so significant and why they're getting this opportunity to,
Taylor, you
relive a moment.
You get it exactly. And Taylor, I want to point out to the audience, remind them, is a huge fan of Bravo, and Taylor and I can both tell you how much they rely on flashbacks. They will get a flashback every 3 minutes of a Bravo show to the point where it's too much. I'm just asking for a couple flashbacks in Love Island.
Right. Yeah. The flashbacks help because you like, oh my God, like what happened there? And then it also makes, the audience engaged to be like, well, now I need to go watch. Need to go watch.
I think the problem is with that, though, is the first 3 seasons of Love Island USA is owned by CBS. So I don't know how that would work.
See, that's a great point, too, because then they might not have rights to those earlier seasons to be able to pull from.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, but like, they could definitely do that for 4, 5, 6, 7. But, and maybe they could get the rights.
Hey, they could do dramatic reenactments and you could play the part, like you and Taylor could play the parts of different cast members, just like they do on true crime docuseries.
Exactly.
But by the way, the three of us, if we don't produce a reality competition series at some point in our life, we're making a mistake because we're building a better boat here, you guys.
Yes, we are. We're filling it up, okay?
This is Noah's Ark, you guys. We're doing this.
Yeah, we have all the animals. We have it all. Like
this is Bergie's Ark. Bergie's Ark. Sail. Yeah.
But anyways, I think speaking on KK though, her backstory, I think Taylor and I are probably the most glad she got a second chance out of anybody in our season. She kind of got she was loyal to a fault. And so it's really fun seeing her, how she's interacting with Chris, who's not already giving her attention. Because on season 5, she just put all of her eggs in one basket right away with Keenan. And Keenan was not putting all of his eggs in KK's basket. He was all over the place. And so it's really fun watching KK now, like, be her own woman. And it's like, okay, you're not showing me interest. I'm going to go jump the boat.
She's definitely, she's there for herself. And you can tell that too, especially because I know her. And, I haven't talked to her in a long time, but I was once really good friends with her. But you could tell this season that, like when she said, and I really love this, that she was like, well, I didn't think like we're not in a solid couple. So like, that's why I went and kissed like Tyreek. But like, you're not putting all your eggs in like my basket. So why should I do that with you?
Right. I mean, and Chris, I think that Chris was taken aback a little bit with that, but I totally respected that. So to move on with the cast, we also have Lucinda Strafford from Love Island UK Series 7. We have Mert, 25 years old from Love Island, Netherlands and Belgium. Man of few words. He speaks 3 languages. We have Nicole, age 23 from Love Island Malta, season 1. You forget how many iterations of this show there are. We talked about Solène from Love Island France, season 2. We have Toby from Love Island UK Series 7. And we have Tyreek, or Ty, we have 26, who we just spoke about, Love Island UK Series 10. Tyreek, I loved watching on that season of UK. He was on the season, you guys, if you watched it, with the fishmonger.
Yeah.
But he's just a very charming, fast-talking, smooth dude. So it'll be interesting to see what trouble and hijinks he gets into.
Yeah.
Who am I leaving out? Am I leaving anybody out, you guys?
I just remembered we forgot.
Celine?
I did Solan,
Celine.
Below
Yep.
Deck.
I just remembered, I didn't talk about Johnny from Love Island US season 2. I talked about Justine, but Johnny got second place. He really flirted with the girl during Casa Amor on his season, but he was with Selly the whole time. And at the end of Casa Amor, he decided to go back to Selly. Then Selly didn't really like that, so they ended up getting second place. And then once they got out of the villa, they broke up shortly after. If you go back and watch Love Island Game season 1, he was the first bombshell when Selly was an OG. So they had an immediate fight right when he got in. So that was really entertaining. So the first 3 Love Island game season or episodes in season 1 is actually really entertaining, seeing that go down. And then he got runner up in Love Island Games, lost to Justine with another woman from Germany, if I remember right.
Gross.
And he was making out with every girl during Love Island Game season 1. He was the villain of season 1, and he's going to be on House of Villains season 3 this year as well.
With Tom Sandoval, Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
Tom Sandoval is going to be on this next season of House of Villains.
No way.
And you guys, they moved House of Villains from E to Peacock.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm going to have to give that a watch.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm hoping
Bergie,
they come out with the House of Heroes or something.
Yeah, I'm saying Bergie, you better start making House of Villains type show.
Yeah, I think it'd be a cool House of Heroes versus Villains or something crazy like that too, where they just head to head.
Yeah. By the way, you guys make a point. You are really good-natured, good people, and we don't really celebrate those on reality television because it's we want bad, we want evil, and we've got to have a balance to that. You want to root for somebody, and it can't be all evil all the time. And I'm not saying this cast of Love Island is evil, but I'm just saying we do need to see more heroic representation on these shows. I mean, that's why I was just saying, I thought it was so crazy that you guys as a couple didn't go on After Sun on this season of Love Island just to remind the audience when they were what are we even doing this for? They just care about their reputations and fame more than love. You've got to remind the audience that real things can come from these things and not just winning $250,000, which is the prize money up for grabs on Love Island Games.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know.
What was that, Taylor?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, Love Island Season 7 was so draining this summer. It started off exciting, and then it just became, I don't know why. It was just, there was no costume war, no movie night. Yeah, there was nothing this really.
It felt like
season.
a slog. It felt like a slog to get through, even though I did like the finale episode. I thought that was really well done. But, it was showing the pomp and circumstance of if you have the best editing, the best music, the best lighting, fireworks, that's pretty exciting to watch. And then you step away from it and you decompress and you're wait a sec, that was kind of empty overall. There was empty. And then you see them all on the outside and they're all fighting for who gets to go on Call Her Daddy and, and who gets the brand deals. And you wait a month to do the reunion, which for me was way too long of a time to wait for that reunion because it decompressed for me a little bit and it was hard to get back in that place of actual caring. Did you guys feel the same way watching the reunion this past season?
I felt that too, but I also felt it should have been maybe even a little longer. But also at the same time, this season was so empty that maybe if it was longer apart, I wouldn't have cared to come back if everyone was broken up.
At the end of the day, if they did a reunion right now, not a lot of those couples are still together.
No, I mean, what's her name's back with TJ?
Iris.
Pepe and Iris broke up. Then Iris switched back over to TJ. She did her swippy swap. And then we have, who do we have left? Nicole Andrea.
Ace and Shelley.
Ace and Shelley and Clark.
Taylor and Clark. And two of those couples weren't in the final 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, Nicolandria, you can't get into that because there's conspiracy theories right and left about, are they, aren't they, how deep into this are, like Ace is going on interviews saying
Right.
that they're not the real deal, and it's like, oh my God. But by the way, you can deeply like somebody within a couple of weeks, but like love gets built up over years. And I think that's what this show does a good job, or does it, supposed to do a good job in fooling you that this can be instantaneous. So in reality, Nick and Andrea shouldn't be head over heels for each other. Like they're still getting to know each other away from the villa.
Yeah. If you put their relationship in an outside perspective, technically, what was it? The last episode, they were like, maybe we should be together. These are all the signs. Wow.
We were really missing them this whole season.
We were missing. It was right in front of my eyes.
That's what I said.
Completely missed it. And they
bullying
get out.
works. Bullying works. The internet, if you bully somebody enough, they will have to be forced to be in a couple.
You had Nick's mom go in there and go, how about Nicolandria? We've got a name for you. It's just too unreal. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You literally can't. So it's also too, you have to give it a perspective too. If they were to give their relationship a try, they did that on the last episode of the final four couples. So I feel like they are they're still getting to know each other. They haven't been into and they're in the media's eyes right now. So it's they have to have that time to really get to know each other on an emotional level, and their morals, their values, all of those things that
real relationships are
real relationships that are built on in a timely manner, but also still pleasing the public's eye.
Yeah, because at the same time too, I don't know how much money, this is terrible to say, but I don't know how much money their relationship is worth with all the brand deals and stuff. And it's well, if we break up, we're not going to be able to get these brand deals or whatnot. And I don't know how much money they're making, but
you don't want to think that they're thinking thoughts like that. But at the same time, you can't be naive and not think that they are thinking things like that, because this is real money, you guys. This is this sets up people.
It's life-changing. It's a life-changing money. It is. We are talking about these 24-year-olds being millionaires and buying their being homeowners at 24 years old, 25 years old, or
Huda was in a NFL commercial.
And I heard she got
big time.
The amount of money that was thrown at that commercial, that I've heard conspiracy theories that was just on the internet that I heard is insane. The money I literally was what?
She just won Traders 4 times.
Yeah, literally.
Well, but that's what you got to wonder then for this season of Love Island Games. They're aware of the massive success of these past 2 seasons of Love Island, so you can't be once again naive to think that that's not on their heads as well. Is that hey, I've just got to. But I mean, in these first 4 episodes, I don't think we have a Mamacita moment. I mean, do we have any TikTok moments yet in these first 4 episodes?
Maybe. What something Coochie, whatever KK was saying with Coochie.
That's right. KK had some good lines.
Yeah, she has. But I don't think there's hasn't been a Mamacita moment. But I'm gonna let KK get her fuels up, because she comes, her one-liners hit. You know what? I will say though, when she was talking to Tyreek and she was because I want to get my hands on that 250 thou wow.
Well, I mean, I did in the first episode, at the end of the episode, we'll start getting into this. Sorry guys, we're just having fun jabbing. But Ariana comes in and somebody does what are you doing here, Ariana? I forgot who said that, but if I was in there, I'd be saying Mamacita the whole time. I'd be Mamacita, you got to test out the catchphrases. Okay, so let's get into the games themselves and explain to the audience. So this differs from Love Island in that they are there to play these games that are these really high concept games and also find love. Is that's the concept, right?
That's the concept. And I think we're going to see what the games are this year, but sometimes they're more carnival games. So it's is there really skill involved in this? Does it really matter who you're coupled up with?
There was skill involved in the first challenge.
In the first challenge? I don't think the first...
No, not the first. The second one, when Josh and Charlie went head-to-head.
I agree with that. And I agree with the third challenge. But we'll get into each individual one. But the first one ruined me. I felt that one didn't really have any it was kind of luck-based almost. You pop the balloons, and then you go into the goo. Maybe you find your heart right away, maybe you don't. Then you go like down the slide, find another heart, and then you're in the sand pit. Like then you have to find another heart. Like that there's some luck based into that. It's kind of like a carnival game. It's not necessarily like, oh, I'm good at math, I'm good at geography, I'm a physical threat. It's kind of more luck based. But the second two were really like, okay, this is where you need to actually have some skill, like concentration. You need to have those surgeon hands. Like it reminds me of like Doctor Operation, that like game where you can't hit the
Operation, yeah.
Yeah. So like that's what that reminded me of. So like there was some skill in that one, and then the third one.
Oh wait, we're gonna get into it. Wait, we're gonna get into it.
Let's go. So let's go. We got season 2, episode 1. Get into this however you want, Bergie.
Okay, so we got the Islanders coming in. I think like the first thing that people have been talking about on the internet was like, oh, Chris has got an ego, because he comes in, he's like, you guys probably already know who I am, and everyone's like, no, we're from different countries. We have no idea who you are, dude.
He did if you watch Love is Blind, when Nick Lachey came in the first time, he was like, and obviously I'm Nick Lachey. And I'm like, I don't care who you are, man. Like, but Chris came in and was like, that was great. That was a great moment.
No, that was good. And KK humbled him real quick.
Yeah. And then also too, like, I wrote down some things, like Chris was saying, like, I have a strategy, don't worry, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, why are you saying that, bro? Like that tells me I need to take you out right away. First, you're 6'7". Now you're saying that you have a strategy. Like, you're a big threat. I need to get you out as soon as possible.
I mean, the physicality of Chris and just being that tall, you always have to be aware. Like, I would imagine he's been aware his whole life. Like, because even I think he has a scene with KK and is just like, oh, I'm going to be craning my neck the whole time looking up at you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something you have to keep in mind, because you don't want to be such a big threat. He's very soft-spoken, so you want to be really careful about the things that you do say in terms of strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Tyreek, like, the guys are sitting on the couch and he's like, I'm here for the manipulation. And I'm like,
I love how he talks. Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude. Like, again, if Boston Rob were to say that, I'd be like, okay, Boston Rob, you got to go home right now.
Well, but see, to your point, we don't have a Boston Rob in Love Island.
No.
We don't have a Dr. Will. And that's why if they really want to get on the map as a reality competition series based on games, they've got to start thinking about players that can fill those roles where they can go on other shows like Boston Rob and Dr. Will.
Or I'm thinking like Johnny Bananas and CT on the challenge. Like, they need to have those characters. And that's the thing that I think is potentially going to hurt the show long term, is if like you have to stay single. Like, eventually maybe these people want to get married or have kids, but like at the same time, do they want to like sacrifice, having a spouse or someone in their life to be on this show forever? Like, Johnny Bananas sometimes talks about like he's had to sacrifice not having a special someone in his life because he wants to say.
I think Johnny Bananas' personality has made
it also doesn't allow for that to happen as well.
Are you kidding me?
But yeah. So, and then after that, I got the first challenge. Unless you guys have anything else that you guys want to talk about.
No, I mean, like, listen, the first episode is really meeting so many new people that it's overwhelming, like it always is. To our point earlier, I wish they had some flashbacks and, really kind of get into the lore of Love Island. But it's them going into the villa, meeting everybody, the awkward conversations, stilted, the big opening, very glossy and glamorous. I will say, I mean, like, they still are overpowering with music, but maybe it's in my head. They're not having as many of the newest, biggest bops, and I was wondering if their music budget is a little lower than Love Island. That's just a note that I had in the background.
So I've been trying to track too, like how good is this season doing compared to season 7?
Yeah.
And I went on Instagram and I was comparing the likes. So far, like, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday during the school year and during the work week. So we'll see what happens over the weekend if people start watching it more too. But like a quarter of what the end of season 7 were getting it like for likes on Instagram posts is what Love Island Games season 2 is getting right now. So like, let's say like Charlie got eliminated, and like the last people to get eliminated on season 7, like that had 600,000 likes on it. Charlie getting eliminated had 150,000 likes on it.
Interesting. So you're saying social media wise, this is already a really big season if we were going by the metrics. The only thing I get scared about with that is that algorithm depends on if the algorithm treats you kindly or not. And when you're involving corporations, I hate to break this to everybody. Corporations sometimes will pay to, get posts out in front of the most people as possible. Whether you like that or not is still your choice if you want to click that little heart. But I find that a really interesting statistic because they don't reveal streaming numbers, or they will probably in a month, and they'll say it's a massive success. So by that metric alone, we can say already this is really big. And we're counting out, I'm an older viewer. This is mainly younger viewers, and that is the demographic that they want to advertise to in all, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, so let's get to the game on the first challenge.
So the first challenge is called Ruin Me. They have to pop balloons, find hearts and goo in a snake pit. Whoever wins the challenge gets to choose who they couple up with. So I would put this in like the carnival game category. Like it's kind of luck based. Like, yes, you got to pop the balloons, and yes, like there's a little bit of physicality to it, but it's also just kind of luck. Like, are you going to find your heart right away? Are you not going to find your heart right away? Like, everyone has kind of an equal playing field. So like, who ended up winning was Garby and Chris, and then we went to the recoupling after this challenge. Unless you guys want to talk more about the challenge.
No, keep going. I mean,
go ahead.
The challenge, but it's just very gooey.
It's
very gooey.
Very slimy. They're, searching for their love.
And I do like we pointed out last season, I like that they make them stay in the goo for their talking head interviews. They don't let them shower. Yeah. That's like a fun little fact, because I was like, why don't they shower? It's like they want them to do those talking heads with the goo because it's a visual.
The worst is the food challenges. You're smelling and just rotting. And you're just like, I have burger meat, and it's been 3 hours and 9.
Stop. Stop.
Okay. Anyways, the recoupling, we have Chris choosing KK. Andrea chooses Josh. I'll tell you who got last place too. Kendall got last place and coupled up with Garby. Isaiah and Nicola coupled up. Andrina and Tyreek. And then Mert and Lucinda were our couple starting out. And then I also have Josh has been like talking a lot of smack this season, which is not common like from his season 3 side. So I think he's treating this way more like a game this time around. And he's, like during the recoupling, he's like, yeah, I'm playing checkers, not chess. And he screwed up saying I'm playing chess, not checkers.
That it's playing chess, not checkers. But that's a very comedic line to screw that up when you're talking about how smart you are,
Yeah.
And also, I love that there's a couple conversations, him and Andrea both talking about journaling, he really, it seems like I'm not familiar with his game, but he seems like he considers himself a very deep person, or that's how it comes across in the
No, it does. It does.
Yeah. I also see him agreeing with Andrea like all the time. It doesn't matter.
Andrea.
Yeah, you guys, I'm so sorry with names. I got such crap last season for it, and I'm so sorry. It's not meant to offend anybody. I'm from Kansas, and not that is a reason for anything, but I just sometimes names, I pronounce them weirdly, so I apologize.
I have ADHD, and I can't pronounce things.
Taylor's like, Taylor's like, I pronounce them correctly. You guys are just idiots.
I'm like, I will literally correct you if I hear you pronouncing it wrong. So no worries.
Okay. But anyways, and then after the recoupling, Kendall had his first conversation with Garby, and I saw him get a lot more comfortable during this conversation. I think just in the beginning, we saw him being uncomfortable, and I feel like he really got into his comfort zone after this conversation.
Yeah, and I feel like Garby, she gives me some sort of comfort. Like, she's so soft-spoken, and she's like very, very genuine, very intentional. And I think that I also am really liking, I like to see Kendall kind of get out of his comfort zone and see how that interaction plays out. But they seem to be really going well.
I love the conversation about how, she learned how to speak. I mean, she learned how to speak fluent English watching YouTube videos and because Kendall was like, you speak it so well. And I just thought that was so interesting of learning how to speak almost with an American accent from the Paul brothers or something,
Right.
YouTubers.
It's insane.
I thought that was great.
It is. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead, babe.
And then Josh and Andrea were talking, and then he said, my type has changed as I've gotten older. And Andrea looks almost like Shannon. So it's I don't feel like his type has changed in over 4 years since he was last on Love Island. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then I really like Mert in this first episode, I was really enjoying him with Lucinda because he can barely speak English, but you can see how he's like trying to like convey his emotions and like I even during the first coupling, it was fun watching him. Like I would have said the same thing even though I can't speak.
Well, he speaks 3 languages, and I think English is probably his least spoken language. But she called him Duolingo in that scene, which I thought was great. Also, really quick about Andrea. What I was confused when she got cast on this show is because I was seeing TikToks of her with her boyfriend last year, and then she did say they had broken up recently, and she decided to go on Love Island Games, if anyone was confused.
Yeah.
I wonder if like Love Island, the casting producers were just like watching too, like a hawk, just waiting for a breakup, and they're just like immediately after.
If that's your business, I would imagine they keep tabs on all of you guys.
Probably. That's so scary.
Yeah, get ready, you guys. Right. By the way, Taylor, let's do a test. Let's post something about breaking up with Bergie and see how long it takes for Love Island to reach out to you. And we'll
I don't
keep
need
a secret
the world
between
coming
us.
after me. I'm gonna be the one.
Hey, no. If I'm Team Taylor all the way. Team Taylor, right?
Not the world.
I think we break up. I think we break up 2027 July. Like a month before the show comes out, and then we both come in as OGs, and then we recouple up.
Strategy. I have a ring on my finger by then.
You'll have a ring on your finger too, walking into the villa, and then I'll come in and be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we're engaged."
Yeah. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the episode where we have our 2 bombshells / heartbreakers come in. Charlie and Solène show up. Obviously, we saw Charlie from the most recent season of Love Island USA. And they come in, and Solène steals Mert, and Charlie steals Andrea. Is that correct?
That is correct. They pretty much made out with every islander there as well before they coupled
just like
up.
Solène on Below Deck this season. I was just like, I just got done watching her kiss 5 people on Below Deck, and now I'm watching her kiss everybody with tongue on this. But that's Love Island.
Yep.
That is Love Island.
Okay. Also, wait. Last thing I will say, Ariana seems like she has way more to do with Love Island Games in terms of being there and present and walking people through the games.
Yeah, big responsibility.
I feel like you almost have to be for a game show. Like Alan Cummings is in every episode of The Traitors. You know, Jeff Probst all the time in Survivor. Like I feel like you need your host in a game show.
Well, because they're like Love Island, there would be, many episodes would go by without Ariana at all. So she has more things to do in a more, truncated amount of time. So we move to episode 2, and what's happening in episode 2, you guys?
Okay, so the first thing we really get to see is like Chris is not like, it's almost like a repeat of Huda. Like he's not showing like really interest, like he's coupled up with someone, but he's like, yeah, I'm coupled up with you. We'll just see where this goes. And he's not like making any like romantic moves or like any gestures at all. Like it's just like we're coupled up.
I have a speculation.
What's that?
I think that because I'm seeing repeated patterns from Chris from 7 into this season, and yes, there is like money on the line too, but in terms of that, him getting on a romantic level with someone, something happened or something has happened in his in his past where it is taking him time to even build that trust to get to someone on that type of level, because he's a very slow burn, and he's so soft spoken and very like he's open about it, but he's not too open about it where we're knowing like why does he move that way when it comes to him talking to women. Like he's very slow when it comes to talking to women. Like KK was like, well, I just need more. Like I need you to flirt with me more. Like you need to like show me that you might say that you're interested in me, but actions speak louder than words.
It's because he has PTSD from Huda. I'm joking, guys. Huda's great. I'm joking. That was a joke. Calm down.
She's making more money.
No, but no, Taylor has a great point about that. If we're getting into the love aspect of these games, these conversations should be happening. And I think it would be interesting for the audience to be like, well, why? Well, this is why I'm a slow burn. In high school, I was cheated on 5 times and it took my
whatever the case may be. But there is something that, because I always feel like when you like he's like an onion. He's like a tough onion, and like you just kind of have to peel those layers
It's a great
back.
point.
And I'm seeing that from him now, like in this with KK as well. And he seems like he has so much potential to be with someone. He seems like a lover boy, a gentle giant, a teddy bear. But something either in his past is like stopping him to getting to that romantic, emotional level. And we don't know what that is, but I'm hoping maybe we see that on games. But if that's not his like forte of opening up, and then he's gonna struggle finding love.
I mean, just that height alone. Yeah. Okay. What?
Yeah. Well, and hopefully maybe eventually like a beach hut person will get that out of him. Like, and they could edit that in there, like why he's struggling so much. But hopefully, if you beach hut producers, if you're listening, hi. We then find out if you're wearing a broken heart, which is Lucinda and Josh, I believe, they have the potential of being eliminated if they don't get rid of this heart. So they have to choose someone to duel against to get rid of their broken heart, and they have to win this duel. And then Lucinda doesn't take this well. She's like, I just found out I'm not playing Love Island. I'm playing Love Island games. She's crying. She's getting comforted by her friends. Josh is the complete opposite. He's fired up. He's like, I'm taking Charlie out. He's 140 pounds soaking wet. I can take this man out. There's just two polar opposite ways of, dealing with the stress of potentially being eliminated.
We are
introduced. Yep. Right. Also, we're also reminded of the men making breakfast for the women again. And Rebecca has a note that all the men seem to be overcooking the eggs. That's just a note for the men. Oh, you're overcooking the eggs too much.
Okay. You're overcooking the eggs. Okay.
Love Island game boys, if you're listening, stop overcooking your eggs. And speaking of that, Mert makes Lucinda breakfast and gives the same breakfast to Salon after Lucinda doesn't want the breakfast. And then Salon's like, that's dog food. I thought that was really funny. He's like,
that's dog food.
That's dog food.
Dog food. Oh my God.
And then we see, I guess after this, we have Lucinda and Josh are preparing for the duel. Lucinda chooses Andrina to duel against. What were your guys' thoughts? Did you guys think Lucinda was crazy for this? Did you guys think Andrina was just going to kill Lucinda? What were you guys' thoughts?
I did think she was crazy for this. I don't think that's who would I would have. I really didn't know what the strategy behind that completely was, and I'm confused.
Me neither. But I mean, she kicked her ass. So
she kicked her ass.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe her strategy obviously worked, whatever it was.
Sweep the leg, finish her.
Yeah.
And I didn't know she wanted to be coupled up with Tariq because, that didn't make sense to me. But apparently, her strategy worked. She got rid of the broken heart and she got out of there. I think the biggest thing for Andrina, she didn't keep moving her feet, which is an important thing to do in those challenges is to keep moving your feet. The second you stop moving your feet, you're just rolled. You're just a rag doll. You're just moving all over the place.
Also, too, let's put emphasis on that was an intense challenge. Was not just a challenge where you can, kind of just brush it under the rug. That required mental, physical, and emotional all in one. Lucinda started to get tired there at the end too, and she had to that's where the mental started to play of I got to finish this out. So I feel that challenge was so intense. Andrina, she gave it her all, but I mean, she got her ass swept.
Yeah. But it also this was a really entertaining duel to watch.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching this. And then after this, we have Josh choosing Charlie, and then they're just fuck off, dude. No, you fuck off. And it was just back and forth, and I'm like, what is going on right now? And then Josh ends up beating Charlie, and Lucinda beats Andrina. So that's what happened there. I really enjoyed this duel. It was fun to watch.
We also have Ariana saying that Lucinda has to put the heart necklace on Andrina, and Josh has to put the heart necklace on
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they have the heart necklaces, so they're not in risk of going home, this is what that's all leading to if you have the heart necklace, right? So that brings us into episode 3. And what are the big moments on episode 3?
Yeah. So KK kisses Tyreek behind Chris's back in the bathroom. And like that was like the big start.
Get yours, KK.
Right.
Yeah. That was the big start to this episode.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. She did her thing, as any girl would.
She's like, I'm not repeating season 5 right now. I'm not going to hang around for Chris to be ready for me. I'm going out there. If Tyreek is ready, I'm ready.
I like Tyreek's. Tyreek at one point is like, my frontal lobe is developed. I like to be dominated now.
Yeah,
that was a good line. And then we have Johnny and Justine showing up, and they get to go on dates with Andrina and Charlie. This was the most shocking part for me. Andrina and Johnny already knew each other. I was not expecting that.
They have history before games. It seems like they either dated, but they didn't date publicly because I don't know who knew that. I mean, no, I didn't know. That was news to me when I saw them address that.
I'm also curious too, like, did they date like before she went on like Love Island season 7? Like, how did Johnny know about her?
If you're gonna reveal this, why not let us know exactly what that was?
Right. I'm from what I gathered, she said it was before games, so I'm assuming it was after her season.
So in between.
Yeah.
And does Johnny have a kid? I'm pretty sure Johnny's a parent.
He could be a dad.
He could be a dad.
Daddy Sita?
Daddy
Sita.
This is like on Real Housewives of Orange County. I always joke because I'm like, it seems like there's only 7 men in Orange County because everybody dates the same dudes.
Right.
Like once you're in this Love Island, like do they all just are they required to date each other, or like it's just weird. It feels like there's so many people in the world. How do they all end up knowing each other at some point before?
Well, I mean,
Ace and Shelley before.
Also, too, like Tyreek and Andrina knew each other when they came in and when everyone was meeting each other, like they kind of grabbed right towards each other because they had been talking on DMs. So
once you're in a Love Island franchise, you're part of some kind of weird extended family, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whether you want to be or not, you're stuck in it. They will find.
Well, I mean, this is a good behind the scenes talk. Like, how many Love Island contestants are you guys DMing with constantly?
I'm pretty I'm like the 3rd or 4th cousin from Love Island.
Yeah, I don't really DM like Love Island contestants. I mean, like I DM'd Kaylor because she was in Dallas, long shot here, but she never responded. So
I just didn't know if people like come to you for advice but I guess a lot of these contestants might be dum-dums and aren't thinking about strategy. So I didn't know if people are reaching out about your experience or your time on the show when they go into these things.
Yeah, no one comes and reaches out.
I think too, maybe it's like if you live in LA, like you're more likely to text another Islander that lives in LA. Like that might be it. And like we're so far from LA that we don't get those DMs, if that makes sense, because we're not like nearby. So that might be it too.
Or they just don't like us.
No, I think you guys are very well liked. No, that's why we were keeping the flame alive here. So they have to pick the couple that will compete in that night's challenge, right? And it's Nikolai and Isaiah versus Charlie, and then Garby and Kendall versus Kendall. Is that right?
Garby and Kendall versus, oh gosh, I screwed that
Isaiah.
up.
Yeah, I was like, wait a sec, I'm reading this note, and it's
it's Garby and Kendall versus Isaiah and Nicola.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Also too, so we see Justine come in and she says like she's just here for the money at this point. Like she doesn't need to, find love. She's like, I'm really here to win. And I truly do believe that. Like she's like, I'm just here to get my money and,
just give me my money.
Yeah. So
she's like Han Solo in Star Wars. He's not there to fight the Republic. He just wants his money, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a joke for Bergie. That's a joke for Bergie.
Well, and it's the Empire, not the Republic.
Also, oh my God, Andor, let's do this. Yeah.
Anyways,
tell him.
Anyways, we get to the challenge and we have Charlie and Justine versus who do they go against? I'm sorry, my notes are terrible here.
Charlie, wait, what are you talking about?
Justine and Charlie went against who?
Charlie and Andrina. So we have Andrina and Johnny. So Johnny went against Oh,
I remember. They went against Zay and Nicola.
Isaiah and Nicola. That's what I said.
Yep.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, Isaiah.
Isaiah.
I keep calling him Isaiah because I feel like his name was Zay maybe on season 4. I don't know. But Isaiah and Nicola versus Justine and
Charlie.
Yes. And I was also wondering, do we think there's a possibility that Justine threw the challenge so she doesn't look like a threat? She just won the first season. She's coming in. Do we think she potentially threw this challenge just so that way she's like, oh, I'm not really good at these games? Or do you think she actually tried and ended up not doing well?
I think she actually tried to, because I feel like she and Charlie had a good conversation when they were on their one-on-one.
Okay.
I don't think she threw it.
I don't think she threw it.
Yeah.
I was just throwing that out there as a potential, maybe she did throw it, maybe she didn't. I was just wondering your guys' thoughts.
To that point, this is what's frustrating too. If you're going to do talking heads with these people, why don't you let the audience know? Did you throw this game? Did you have a strategy?
You could have been in the beach hut being like, I wanted Charlie out, so I threw it.
It's Love Island Games, let us in on your gameplay one-on-one. Talk to us, the audience, because that's not going to get back to the fellow contestants. Let us know what you're doing,
Especially with all these islanders saying, I have a strategy, and we have no idea what their strategy is.
You'll never know my strategy that I have one.
It's like Dr. Bill saying, I don't like any of you. I actually don't want to play the game. I'm not. And when they're like, I don't know what game he's playing, but it's
yeah. By the way, if you just had minimal strategy, you would clean up on Love Island Games potentially, because nobody is in there with a solid strategy that we know of so far.
We need to get Love Island Games Couple Edition out there. Come on, you guys.
Yes, that's the only way.
Pitch that out there. I'm telling you, I'm coming in for the kill. I'm coming in with the strategy.
What is this? What is this challenge? What is the game?
So the best way I can describe it is that operation game you had as a child. You're the surgeon, and you have that guy that has
the red nose,
bones you need to take out. If you touch the outside of the metal part.
If you touch the metal part, it buzzes, and you have to start again.
Yeah.
So they have to go through this almost like a heartbeat type of scenario, through it all, and they have different stages in this this metal structure that they have to go through, and they have a safe zone. So once they get to their safe zone, they have to kind of relock in and get to the next safe zone until they get to the end.
Got
it. Did I say that right?
So you also said there was a lot of online discourse if Isaiah was being mean to Nicola during the challenge. I've not really kept up with the online discourse this week. What is that all about?
So it was when he kept saying, pull it tighter. You need to pull it tighter. He was getting frustrated. You can visually see him getting frustrated. I personally you're in this game, you're trying to win $250,000. So I don't feel like he was being a jerk. He was just in the game, and he's we need to pull it tighter. And he was getting frustrated in the moment because he's we need to get this together. Otherwise one of us is going home. But a lot of people were arguing.
You see that same frustration with certain people in the fourth episode's challenge, where you're filling your head bucket up with things and trying to fill up that tube. I think there's a natural frustration, especially if you don't know how to direct people
to communicate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's really what it all comes down to in these duels or these challenges is knowing how your partner communicates. If I was with him, or if I was with a partner, I'd be okay, well, how do you receive feedback? So that way I know, if I'm being too harsh,
Mm-hmm.
So those are the type of things that you need to know in a partner and in a challenge and in a game. So that way, you're not going to be frustrating them, or that how to say it so they can receive it as, good, or to let them go.
Yeah. And when I was playing college football, you'd have a coach kind of cuss you out, but it's don't listen to my tone, listen to my message. It's listen to my message, not my tone.
Right.
Because your tone can sound terrible, but the message is what you need to listen to, not the tone.
Right.
So,
but isn't that excusing hey, I'm an asshole, but I don't mean to be.
Right. And that's why I'm saying too, it's good to establish that communication with your partner going forward, because you're able to know how people receive feedback. If you're telling me don't listen to the message, listen to the tone, that's not how I receive it. So if you're doing that to me, then I'm going to be getting frustrated, because that's not how I like to be. That's not how I like to receive being talked to. So I think that is very important in terms of communication in a game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, then we have, so Charlie and Justine end up losing. and they end up then having to choose between sending Kendall or Charlie home after the whole. Because I'm sorry, Johnny and Andrina end up beating Kendall and Nicola. And so it ends up being Kendall or Charlie ending up having to go home. The Islanders get to choose who they have to send home. Who would you guys send home? That was kind of my question to you guys.
I probably would have sent home Kendall just because I really wanted to see like Charlie kind of flourish in this. He got cut short in season 7
Last
with
season,
like
yeah.
the whole love thing, and like it seemed like he just has great energy and a great aura. And not that I don't like Kendall or anything, but I would have loved to see Charlie on there a little longer.
Yeah,
I think this is, I would have probably sent Kendall home as well. But what I find interesting is that this is also one of my questions of Kendall's obviously a more established person within the Love Island universe, also being on Beyond the Villa as well. So I also wonder if some ways it's a popularity contest on top of everything. And I will say I didn't, Charlie, it is like dark comedy that this guy gets like kicked off again very quickly, even quicker than he was on Love Island. And so I felt bad for him. But I will say when Charlie came in the first place and said, "Daddy's home," I was like, get out right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's a horrible line. Daddy's home? What
No,
are you
yeah.
talking about, man?
We didn't need to say Daddy's home, Charlie. Just keep it shut.
So Charlie, maybe Charlie doesn't have the personality for these shows. I don't know, but he gets sent home and I felt bad, but I probably would have sent Kendall home just because I would have been more curious where Charlie would have gone with this as opposed to Kendall.
Same.
I didn't even consider like America's voting this year. I forgot about that, even though we just had a public vote. But like, I totally forgot that could even play a factor if like people are fans of Kendall and he has a lot of votes back home if he's ever on the line and America can save him. But I was thinking as like a gameplay aspect, like Charlie's now lost 2 games in a row. How is that going to affect him mentally going into the next game? So maybe like he's easily, like maybe he won't have a. Yeah, like maybe he's not going to feel as confident into his next game. So I was like, I would probably send Kendall home just for the mental aspect of Charlie not winning.
Oh, you cut out for a second. Yeah. But no, I was just thinking, it is interesting to think about PTSD of what these shows do to these people. Like if Charlie goes home a 2-time loser, is he just like his head's hanging low now from this point on,
I feel like he seems like, kind of okay with it when he did his interview with Sully, but who knows
he's on After Sun tonight.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what his perspective is.
He just seems so sweet and so genuine. Like, I don't know. There's something about him. He seems like a good person.
I think we'll see him on Love Island Games season 3 because I think Games is probably going to come back. We'll probably see that announcement, but I think he'd be a good casting again for Games season 3. See if he can survive longer than 2 days.
Yeah.
That brings us to our 4th and final episode. And what are the highlights here? Because a real good chunk of this episode was the actual game.
Yes,
it was this time.
This was the game where the boys had to reel water into the girls' buckets, and they had this checkered kind of like line with big tires that the boys had to align in their color that they were assigned, and then get to the end of the football field goal and pour their water into the field goal posts.
Yeah, and they had to like bend over like a stick of like
the girls had to
water in there.
Yeah, so the boys had to do the wheels and then do the tires, and they had to step on the tires, and then the second one the girls had to run across this slippery, gooey floor that was like filled with water, and they're kind of stumbling apart. They had to also strategize how they were going to get under their colored bar to get to the field goal post without bumping their water on their head over this like bar. So some girls had some good strategies and some girls were just swimming around on the floor.
That's life. Well, also, Bergie has some notes about the beginning. I think one interesting note in particular, but what's so interesting is that the audience, I was reminding myself of going back and listening to just inane kind of not boring, but the conversations, like they're like real conversations where you're watching kind of real moments that sometimes don't really lead anywhere. And it's, you forget. And I think that's sometimes the beauty of Love Island is that all of a sudden you're in this kind of just, conversation about nothing, you just,
Right.
they're there talking, and it's like Love Island does that. It's very different than other reality shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I had a thing where Garby says I need to cut my nails off. And that reminds me of like one of my first conversations with Phaedra when we were on our flight together to Scotland. She said like she was talking about how her mom like was a huge fan of Traders. Like Phaedra got the invite to go do Traders and she wasn't sure if she was going to do it. And your mom's like, Phaedra's mom was like, you're going to do it. You're going to love it. Make sure to cut your nails short because you're going to get down and dirty when you're out in Scotland. So I just remembered that. And Phaedra telling me that, like, that was one of our first conversations together. So that brought me back into, like, the game mode kind of aspect of it.
Yeah, because Garby said she needed to cut her nails off. We also had Tyreek telling Chris that he kissed KK behind closed doors, and KK never told Chris.
Yeah. So I do see that she was I do see where she was coming from of, like, waiting for, like, a good time and a conversation to happen for her to kind of tell him that. I don't know. Obviously, we know that we don't see everything of like how their day is or like what they all do when they're inside the villa. And obviously, maybe in KK's eyes, like there wasn't a good time that she had the chance to pull him. But that's something that we can't see because we only see snippets of an episode. So like that's another thing that we have to keep into perspective too, of like maybe she actually didn't have the time to like pull him for a conversation, or she wanted to and they're like, all right, girls can't talk, boys can't talk, you guys have to go to bed. Like, when
and on Big Brother they have the live feeds where you can watch more of their actual full day, and we do not have
we don't have that access
of that with Love Island. So we get to see what they want to show us and what story they're trying to tell, which I always find that like the most interesting thing to determine what the producers are trying to tell us with these things. But also it's Love Island games. Like this isn't Love Island friendship games. So even love itself is a game. And part of that is, kissing people that you might not be initially coupled up with. So should KK have run and told Chris immediately?
I don't know. Like, that's a great question.
That is a great question. I feel go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up hurting her because I really do see like another conversation we see is like Justine and Chris talking later on. And I'm like, I definitely see if Justine wants to win this thing, she's going to couple up with Chris. And if Chris has an excuse to get away from KK, he's going to take it now because that has occurred. And honestly, I don't think it changes though if KK told Chris right away. I think Chris would still take that opportunity with Justine if that appears to happen.
I totally agree. He said he's here for the money as well. He said like he's not here. He said did he say if a relationship happens, great? Or did he say like he is not here for love?
He said if a relationship happens, great. He's also always like, Chris has got kind of an ego too, because when he was talking to Justine, he also said, I can get money somewhere else.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Like, I can be playing ball overseas.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much money are you actually making?
I know.
Everybody in their overseas basketball. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Him and Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, but also, it's very interesting. Tyreek, he ends up in this power position where he's the one that tells Chris. So he got to kiss somebody else and he got to look good almost in Chris's eyes of like, man to man, I want to tell you this.
Right. Yeah. I think the where the drama happened is when Tyreek and Andrina went for their conversation and Chris had told Andrina that KK and Tyreek had kissed, but KK hadn't told Andrina yet. So do you guys think that KK should have told Andrina first or Chris first? Because I feel like she should have went to Andrina first for like girl code. That's just
I feel like they need a published guy code and girl code because I always get confused what the exact code is. But it seems like
but also she has no obligation to these girls too because they're not her like friends either.
Exactly.
So it's like I don't think her kissing Tyreek like is a bad thing or like that was something that she did that was sneaky or anything like that. Like
it's
I
Love
think
Island, but if you're not, but is that part of an overall strategy, or is that a sloppy move that then hurts you? That's like the argument that you would have. So are you acting just on, your overall horniness levels or curiosity levels, or is this something where you're like, I'm playing for myself and we'll figure it out?
Right. And also, too, I feel like when she said her top three, she said Tyreek, Isaiah, and Chris were her top three. So if that's who she wants to get to know, then like that's fine too. But I also think like communicating that to your partner and letting them know that like, hey, like you're also an option and I want to explore you. But I also have like Isaiah I'm interested in and Tyreek and I'm interested in.
Nobody's closed off yet, right?
Exactly.
Or is it
no
just
one,
the same rules of Love Island apply here where they have to
No.
say we're closed off?
No, not at all. And I feel like it's still so early too. So it's like maybe she's already figured out that she's like, you know what? I kind of want to put like more effort into Chris because I see like more of like a connection there and like we'll see where that goes. But like she said too, she was like, Tyreek's just very flirty. So she kind of just like fooled around like it's fun, it's whatever. But like she explained to Chris and said that like I would have preferred it been you that I kissed.
Yeah.
Because they still haven't kissed yet, I don't think. Outside of a challenge, sorry. Outside of a challenge.
Yeah.
But when Tyreek and Andrina spoke, what did you guys think about Tyreek saying to Andrina that you didn't tell me that you and Johnny kissed on your date?
Yeah, I thought that was a good, like, kind of tit for tat. Like, she's like, Andrina was like, why didn't you tell me you kissed KK? And then Tyreek clapped back with, why didn't you tell me you kissed Johnny then? Like, Andrina was making it a big deal. And then it's like, well, Tyreek's like, well, it's not that big of a deal because you did the same thing and you didn't tell me about it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's Love Island. We also had a conversation about Garby talking to Kendall about her virginity, which I thought was interesting as well. And she always is very aware that men probably don't react the best to this, but Kendall seemed to take this okay.
Yeah.
I thought Kendall took it.
He handled it very mature. And like, I think like it was like a conversation. He was like, oh, like you're a virgin. And he was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know that about you. And then that's it. Like
he was like, can I still touch your boobs? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. Calm down. No, but that's how it should be, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, props to Garby for like having, like those morals for yourself, and like living the life you want to live. And props to Kendall for accepting something that you should accept regardless.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that kind of comes back to like, what is this is a game show, but it's also Love Island at the same time. We still get to see like that open, intimate conversation that you wouldn't see on Survivor or Big Brother. Like we still see like some of that love, intimacy, like relationships building, even though it's still a game show, which is still nice.
Yeah.
So it's still got both aspects.
It's good to see those conversations to be had too, because Garby said from the beginning when she coupled up with Kendall that she's here for, for a relation, or she coupled up with him for a relationship aspect to see like and explore that. And it wasn't more of just like a strategy or the game. So she seems like she is really interested in Kendall. I just hope Kendall is just as much as interested as she is.
Yeah. Kendall, I'm trying to figure out Kendall all these years later, but
I think everyone's still trying to figure them out.
He's still, but also he probably still trying to figure himself out too.
Right.
I mean, but to your point earlier, these kind of conversations that you're opening up like this, it's like with Chris, I'd love to know why Chris is so closed off. What's happening in Chris's life? So when you find out these little nuggets of information, it's really good. It really reveals a lot about a person.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that I hope we get to see more of that this season. And like, especially with, Chris has this guard up, but I feel like we don't see the soft side of Chris. We see the egotistical, like, I'm 6'7", like I'm here to win. Like, I don't play that, like very tough guy. But like, I think that somewhere down in there, he's like a lover boy and a gentle giant, but it's going to take a certain someone for him to get to that point. But hopefully we get to see it this season.
Yeah. And then finally we had Isaiah Isaiah telling Nicola that he wasn't attracted to her. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So he said that once he started with, you're such an amazing woman. I was like, God damn it. I was like, here comes the friend zone.
I always like when attractive people don't like other attractive people. You're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they make a good team, but you could tell like maybe their sexual chemistry just wasn't alluded there.
Well, is that good gameplay or bad gameplay? Because is that part of the game too? Is that like, I'm going to act attracted to you even if I'm not, because that potentially helps us in challenges and things like that? Is it good to be honest in these situations, or is that a bad thing?
I feel like it's good to be honest. Like I would say, especially from Isaiah on season 4 to him now. And how, like, I don't know if he's probably grown so much or just hopefully learned about his past and have that time to reflect back on things of like he told Nicola, like, I don't want to lead you on. Like, I've kind of been that guy. So I respected that out of him.
I also think like, it's Love Island Games. Like if he doesn't find anybody else, like they could win that show together. Like how cool would that be too as friends?
Exactly. Now they have a chemistry where they're like, locked in for the game aspect. They don't have to worry. They don't have that pressure of, oh, we're in a couple, like, should we explore this? Like, now it's just like, okay, like, we're in a couple. We've already established, like, the sexual chemistry is not there. Maybe we can kind of lock in and, we can have that chemistry of just being, like, players.
Yeah. So we talked about the game already, but then that leads us to the end of the game because this airs back on Sunday night. Saturday night is After Sun, which is the talk show hosted by Maura Higgins. And then Sunday we get revealed like who's Chop, right? So how does the end of the game end, Bergie?
So, well, we get to see that KK and Chris are the first power couple. They ended up winning the game. We also forgot Toby returns and couples up with Andrea, and Josh stays singles, and he's like, I'm relentless, I'll find the way, and then he couples up with Justine, and then we go to the game. But then KK and Chris are safe. They become the first power couple, and then they get to choose someone else that could be potential for America's vote of being vulnerable. And so then we get to see them go and have a private conversation on who they would like to make vulnerable. I really liked KK's strategy of voting for someone that America could also vote out. Don't vote out someone that we think America wouldn't vote out. Because then if you vote that person or that couple to be also voted by America and you kind of know that America's not going to vote them out, they're going to come back and try to take you out.
So it's not a good strategy.
Yeah. So your strategy should be, I have to work with America here and think out of the couples still remaining, who would America want to take out potentially?
Yeah.
Right.
So they put up, so how does it, who do they?
They ended up voting for Solange and Mert.
So Len and Mert, good. Get Solange.
That's what I would have voted too. I would have voted too. Yeah. I would have voted Solange and Mert as well.
And we don't know if the whole couple is going to go home or just an individual is going to go home and then the Islanders are going to have to vote. Like, there's not a lot of information out there right now, but we'll see who America votes for. And the vulnerable couples are Solange and Mert, Andrina and Johnny, Tariq and Lucinda, Isaiah and Nicola, and Andrea and Toby. And Toby.
So America votes, and how long does America have to vote? Did it close off within 3 hours?
Yeah, it closed off because they probably filmed that last night. Them getting voted out because After Sun is today, and then Sunday nights we're gonna see who got voted out last night on Friday night because Fiji's ahead of us, and then they already filmed After Sun, so they were like ready to go with whoever's being eliminated last night.
And I did think it was funny that the game was also cross promotion for NBC and NFL. And, watch NFL on Peacock or whatever it was. I thought, this is where you get to see corporations scratching each other's back and cross promoting and all of that stuff. So that brings us kind of to the end of the episodes. I know there are so many moments that we missed. I do want to also point out This is why we love KK. I found another line of dialogue that she said that I loved. She said, I feel like to be successful, you have to be just a little bit delusional, right? Like, think about it. Think about like Albert Einstein. He had to be delusional to be that smart, right? and I was like, yeah, man, compare yourself to Albert Einstein. That's what Islanders should be doing. You're doing big things over there. So God bless you. And then so we come back, and then the regular schedule for this, it's Sunday through. How does it air from here on out?
Sunday through
Friday, just
right?
like regular Love Island. So Sunday to Tuesday, Wednesday's a day off, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday after
sun.
We still have had nobody hooking up with anybody, correct? We've had kisses, but we haven't, nobody's done the full hippity-dippity. And is that less common in this because it is such a short time period? Because I didn't watch season 1 of this.
I don't want to throw people out there, but I think there was an intimate, wasn't there one couple that did?
I just didn't know if storylines were built around, kind of like the sexy time at night at all.
We may see that more into the season, depending on how established these couples get. I don't remember specifically if a couple in season 1 in games had in. There probably was. I mean, was it Toby?
No,
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, it's something that I'm curious about and didn't know if it was designed to go that way. So, yeah, we have 3 weeks. It starts back up on Sunday night. It will be, very interesting. If you're a Love Island fan, you're probably locked in to a degree already. My question, though, watching these first 4 episodes is, can it bring anybody new in? Can you bring new viewers into this unless you are already firmly ensconced in Love Island and Love Island lore? Can it reach across? Because I still feel you could pick up a season of Survivor, which actually starts this week as well, and you could have never watched Survivor before, and I think you could be pretty locked in. I mean, when it comes to strategy and they start name dropping other seasons, you might be a little confused, but overall, it's a very basic strategy game over a set number of days. And this, I feel like you have to be a Love Island fan already to really appreciate this.
I'm going to ask you then, like, do you think Survivor 50 is going to draw in more new people than Survivor 49? Because I feel like Survivor 50, I'm like, oh, that's the 50th season and they're having people come back. I might be more intrigued to tap into that than 49.
Yeah, because that's a celebrity season. It's like an all-star season. So I think, because you're also celebrating 50 seasons of a show. Most shows don't ever get to 50 seasons to begin with. So I think it'll, it's designed to be special. So of course, and I think they're going to put a lot of publicity and advertisement behind it. But, to my point was, I was talking earlier this week of like, what show do you watch first? And for me, I watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City first on Wednesday. That was my first one, and Love Island I saved for this last 2 days because it almost felt like, oh man, 2-hour episode, or it felt like this chore where I started getting stressed out about watching it, which you want to watch. I'm a little different because I do this for a living, but you want to watch these shows because you enjoy them, not like it add like some sort of stressor to your life. What do you guys think?
Yeah. No, I totally
episodes
agree.
2-hour episodes are that's a commitment.
Yeah, I do 2-hour episodes all the time, so I'm sorry, you guys.
No, but I feel like they could cut it down a lot too. Like that first episode, we didn't need to see Salon and Charlie kissing every person there. We didn't need to see every person competing in the challenge. There was definitely some fluff in there that they could have edited down to make it an hour and a half episode.
Long, I'm more interested in the humanity of these people. Like to Taylor's point earlier, I want to know more about their lives, or I want to know the history a little bit of where they're coming from. I'm interested in that sometimes more than, but see, that's why I keep going. That's probably my age too. I've seen enough tongue kissing in my lifetime that it doesn't at this point do anything for me. So maybe young people are like, yeah, more tongue kissing. I love it.
I don't like watching that.
No, I would definitely prefer just watching, them do a challenge. The duels have been cool. That's fun to watch. But a lot of the kissing challenges, sometimes I'm like, okay, we're good. We can fast forward. There's no talking. I'd rather hear more strategy and more
Yeah.
like you guys said, like developing these characters or people on the show.
Yeah. I would like to hear, I would like to see like maybe like more beach huts of like people like telling their stories or telling like if they are coming in there with a mental game or a strategy, like saying or like, you know how like in Big Brother, it's like, oh, we got them. Like they thought we were going to do this, but like we did this. Like, I don't know.
Well, differentiate it. I mean, like it's what we've been saying all episode. Differentiate it from Love Island.
Right.
You know, what is this Love Island games? Why is it different than just Love Island? So let's then get into the strategy of it. Build that suspense, build that people actually have a game plan. And I would imagine, like, I hope that when they're casting, they start telling the contestants, develop a game strategy. Think about this as a game and not just looking sexy in bathing suits, which, you know, you can do that as well. Finally, Taylor, real quick, thoughts on Salt Lake. Were you bummed that Lisa Barlow was not in this episode?
I was so bummed, to be honest. Like, I was just like, damn, like, no Lisa this whole episode.
Did you like it still?
I still loved it. Like, and I'm actually so excited for this season. Like this season is it looks like it's gonna be good.
Same.
So especially hearing about the lawsuits that
Lisa Barlow has
against her. And like, I like how, what's her name? Blonde girl.
Brittany?
Mary.
Mary Cosby?
No, not Mary.
You're talking about Brittany Bateman. Oh, Heather Gay.
Heather. Yeah. I love how like Heather was like, no, like I really, she had these lawsuits. Like
Heather, you can't play dumb and smart at the same time. Like,
you
I'm
really
sorry.
Can't. Like also too, it's like really like being, you know, in the media and like also like how Mary was like, well, it was in Salt Lake's like Times like newspaper. Like everyone.
Heather, by the way, Heather knows exactly what she's talking about.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, like,
I hate that, but I hated the way that she like played dumb like that. I'm like, don't do that. Like you're actually making yourself look so dumb.
I sometimes feel like Heather acts on this show.
She does. She plays a character. It frustrates me too. Like we can't just see like, and then she goes back and forth like.
But having said that, I was so happy it was back on air, but it is just so ridiculous. It is so silly and such a fun, I mean, it's very campy and very ridiculous, but I love it. So I can't wait to watch the second episode. And then are we going to be doing this again next weekend? What's our strategy? Do we want to keep doing this? What are we?
We want to keep doing it every Saturday work?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. So you guys, we got to go follow Bergie and Taylor. We'll put all of their information in the show notes and go support. These are the people we should be supporting. And also let's get them back to LA for some sort of, if there's any advertisers listening, let's get them back to LA when I'm not sick. And anything else that you want to leave us with, you guys?
Ooh, not today. Unless Taylor's got something. Not today.
I've got nothing. I'm excited for fall.
Hashtag Team Conrad.
Thank you guys so much for. Oh yeah, wait. I have not watched one episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
I do. Oh my god.
I have not watched one episode.
I do have something now that I brought up fall. Bergie has never seen Harry Potter, and I've got him on Harry Potter right now.
Wait, Bergie, you're a nerd. How have you not watched Harry Potter?
I didn't really grow up with it, and then
I knew you were gonna be shocked, Ryan.
And then I was like. Taylor brought it up. I'm like, isn't that like about like kids? Like, isn't that like, am I too old to watch that? We watched the first one and I was like, we could start the second one. We started the second one. Then we're on to the third one. We're going through them.
Wow, that is shocking. That is shocking to me because the movies also get better as
they just get better and better and better. Like he's just like in awe of it, and he's like, how have I never watched this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is nostalgia for me. Like, I turn this on every time, like, it's cold outside or anything.
I bet Bergie's never heard an Adele song.
I've heard of Adele.
Who? I'm joking.
But The Summer I Turned Pretty, yes, I got Bergie.
Yeah, that's next on my list. And I was telling the audience the other day, I know it's like YA, young adult, and like it's not going to be for OA, old adults, but I know I'm going to love it, and that's why I keep not wanting to watch it because I don't want to then be like, into like some teen story about romance, you know, like, and I know I'm going to love it. So I'm just really worried to start it.
Well,
you're gonna love
and
it.
season 3 was so bad it was good. I kept
Well,
telling
and now
Taylor
they're making a movie.
Yes.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm also
Anyway.
excited now because I'm like wrapped into the storyline and everything. So I'm like,
God.
Yeah.
dang it.
It's crazy.
Another show.
I missed you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being
Yes,
here. And
thank you for
guys,
having us.
Love you, Ryan.
You know, keep going on this journey with us. We'll always be taking detours talking about other things. But even if you don't like Love Island, I think these conversations are fascinating because we talk about strategy and things like that. So anyways, tell your friends about us and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.